Every man needs these 5 skills, not just to survive, but to rise. This message will shake something deep inside you and remind you of the power you've always had. Don't click away. Watch till the very end, and you'll never see yourself the same way again. Comment where you're watching from and hit subscribe to join the movement. Everything begins with self-discipline. Before a man can master anything in life, his career, his relationships, his purpose, he must first learn to master himself. And that's not something taught in school or handed down from anyone else. It's a personal war fought in silence every single day. The man who wins that war doesn't need to announce it. His life becomes the proof. You see, self-discipline is not about restriction. It's about direction. It's the quiet force that keeps you moving when motivation fades. Motivation is a spark, but discipline, that's the fire that never dies. It's what makes you get up early when you'd rather stay in bed, what pushes you to finish what you start, what keeps you training when no one's watching. Every man wants results, but few are willing to pay the price of consistency. That's where greatness is found, not in talent, not in luck, but in the daily decision to do what's hard when it's easier not to. We live in an age that rewards comfort. Everything is fast, easy, and convenient. Food is delivered, entertainment is endless, and distractions are everywhere. But comfort is a trap. The more you seek it, the weaker your edge becomes. The stronger you want to be, the more you have to learn to live without it. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's about teaching yourself to value what's real over what's temporary. Because comfort will make you feel good now, but discipline will make you proud later. Think about it. The men who built empires, who led nations, who left legacies, they all had one thing in common: they had control over themselves. They knew how to delay gratification. They knew how to say no, not just to others, but to their own impulses. Because the moment you learn to say no to yourself, you begin to shape your character. And character, more than anything else, determines destiny. Psychologically, self-discipline builds self-respect. Every time you follow through on a commitment, your mind registers it as proof of integrity. You begin to trust yourself more. You start believing that when you set a goal, you'll achieve it, because you've built evidence that you can. Most men don't lack ambition, they lack trust in themselves. They've broken too many promises to their own reflection. But when you practice discipline, you repair that trust, you rebuild that inner bond. And once that's restored, your confidence becomes unshakable because it's no longer dependent on external validation. Philosophically, discipline is freedom. It sounds like a paradox, but it's true. The man without discipline is a slave to his emotions, his habits, his cravings. He's pulled by every impulse and distracted by every temptation. But the disciplined man, the one who controls his actions and his thoughts, moves with purpose. He doesn't react, he responds. He doesn't chase, he builds. He lives life on his own terms because he has earned the right to do so through mastery of self. And let's be honest, this isn't easy. Discipline isn't built overnight. It's carved through repetition and failure. You'll slip, you'll procrastinate, you'll doubt yourself. But that's part of the process. The key is to keep going. Every time you choose effort over ease, you strengthen your willpower. And willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. What once felt impossible slowly becomes second nature. In relationships, discipline shows up as emotional control. It's the ability to remain calm when triggered, to think before reacting, to hold yourself to a higher standard even when others don't. In your career, it's the patience to build skill, to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term growth. In your health, it's the refusal to let laziness dictate your limits. Discipline touches every area of a man's life, and when it's missing, everything else collapses. But here's what most people miss. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. A disciplined man is not the one who never fails. He's the one who gets back up every time he does. Because he understands that failure is not the opposite of discipline. It's part of it. You can't become disciplined without friction, without struggle, without resistance. The pain you feel while building discipline is proof that you're growing. At its core, self-discipline is a conversation between who you are and who you could be. Every decision, every action, every choice is a vote for the man you're becoming. You're either casting votes for your potential or for your comfort. And each day, that decision shapes the direction of your life. Discipline is the difference between a man who talks about change and a man who becomes change. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't look for motivation. Look for discipline. Train your mind to do what must be done, not just what you feel like doing. Because when a man learns to lead himself, there's nothing in this world he can't lead. And remember this, self-discipline is not a prison, it's the path to power. Master yourself and you master life. Strength is often misunderstood. Many equate it with physical power, loudness, or dominance. But real strength, the kind that shapes a man's life and commands respect, is invisible. It lives in the mind, in the heart, in the choices we make when no one is watching. Emotional intelligence is that invisible strength. It's the skill of understanding yourself, understanding others, and navigating life with clarity and balance. Without it, every other skill you build, your discipline, your knowledge, your resilience, can be sabotaged by reactions you don't control and feelings you don't understand. Emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. Before you can connect with others or lead effectively, you must know yourself. You must recognize your emotions, understand what triggers them, and see how they influence your thoughts and behavior. A man who ignores his emotional life is like a sailor trying to navigate a storm without understanding the wind or the tides. He will be tossed around reactive and unpredictable. Self-awareness is the first step in taking command of your inner world, and that command becomes visible in everything you do. People can sense the difference between someone who is in control of himself and someone who is controlled by his impulses. But awareness alone is not enough. Understanding your emotions must be paired with regulation, the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react instinctively. Life will throw countless provocations at you, insults, betrayals, failures, unexpected setbacks. The man who lashes out at every disturbance or allows frustration to rule his decisions loses more than he gains. He may win arguments, but he loses respect, opportunity, and clarity. Emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them, processing them, and choosing the response that serves your purpose. The ability to pause, reflect, and act deliberately transforms challenges into opportunities. Communication is another pillar of emotional intelligence. A man may have knowledge, skill, and discipline, but if he cannot convey his ideas, intentions, or emotions effectively, he leaves power on the table. Emotional intelligence teaches you how to speak so that others listen. And more importantly, how to listen so that you understand. Listening is an active practice. It is not waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely absorbing the other person's perspective. When a man masters this, he builds bridges, resolves conflict, and inspires trust. People instinctively follow those who can see them, understand them, and make them feel valued. Empathy, often misunderstood as weakness, is another essential skill. The emotionally intelligent man does not let empathy compromise his strength. He lets it sharpen it. Understanding what drives others, their fears, desires, and motivations is a form of power. It allows you to navigate relationships, lead teams, and make decisions that create alignment rather than resistance. Women respect a man who can listen, understand, and respond without judgment. Men respect a man who can maintain integrity while navigating the complexity of human behavior. Empathy is not submission, it is strategic awareness. The psychological benefits of emotional intelligence are profound. When a man can identify, process, and respond to his emotions effectively, he experiences less anxiety, more clarity, and greater confidence. Life becomes less reactive and more intentional. Mistakes still happen, but they become lessons rather than crises. Relationships become sources of support and growth rather than constant friction. Emotional intelligence provides a foundation that allows discipline, resilience, and knowledge to flourish. Without it, even the strongest man can crumble under pressure. Philosophically, emotional intelligence is about balance. It's the recognition that life is not binary, that power does not reside solely in force or control, but in understanding, adaptation, and alignment. A man who ignores the inner landscape of his mind and the feelings of those around him is fighting life blindfolded. He may stumble forward, but progress will be inefficient, painful, and unsustainable. The emotionally intelligent man moves with awareness. He anticipates, navigates, and influences rather than merely reacting. He understands the interplay between mind and heart, thought and feeling, action and consequence. And let's confront the truth: emotional intelligence is not innate for most men. Society often discourages men from exploring their feelings, teaching them that vulnerability is weakness. But real strength is paradoxical. It is in the courage to look inward, to confront uncomfortable truths, and to grow through the discomfort. It's in the discipline of controlling impulses, the patience of listening, and the wisdom of acting with insight. Each small step taken in emotional mastery compounds over time, creating a man who is grounded, resilient, and magnetic. Practically, cultivating emotional intelligence requires consistent attention. Reflect on your reactions daily. Notice what triggers anger, jealousy, or fear. Practice pausing before responding. Ask yourself why someone's words or actions provoke you. Seek to understand, not just to be understood. Engage in conversations with the intention to listen fully, not just to reply. Over time, these small acts of conscious awareness shape a powerful inner architecture that supports every aspect of life: work, health, relationships, and purpose. Ultimately, emotional intelligence is the silent edge that sets extraordinary men apart. While others are reactive, swept away by circumstance and emotion, the emotionally intelligent man navigates life with precision. He remains calm under pressure, connects deeply with others, and makes decisions aligned with his long-term goals. He becomes the kind of man people seek out for guidance, trust, and partnership. And in doing so, he experiences a sense of freedom and mastery that cannot be taken away. So, cultivate emotional intelligence with the same rigor you devote to any other skill. Strength without insight is hollow. Discipline without awareness is rigid. Resilience without emotional control is brittle. True mastery of life begins not only with what you can do, but with how you understand, manage, and apply the power of your own emotions. Remember this: the man who masters his emotions does not simply survive life, he shapes it. He does not just exist, he leads, inspires, and influences. Emotional intelligence is not a soft skill, it is the foundation of strength, the silent force behind every success, and the compass that guides a man through the chaos of life. Master it, and you master the world around you. Life is not gentle. It will test you in ways you never expect, often when you feel least prepared. The truth is, setbacks are inevitable. Failure is inevitable. Loss is inevitable. But the difference between men who thrive and men who merely exist is not the presence of struggle. It's the response to it. Resilience and adaptability are the twin forces that allow a man to turn challenges into strength and uncertainty into opportunity. Without them, even talent and discipline can falter. With them, any obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Resilience begins with mindset. It's not about denying pain or pretending life is fair. It's about choosing to move forward despite it. Every man encounters rejection, disappointment, and unexpected change. The resilient man does not waste energy on self-pity or blame. He accepts reality for what it is and asks a different question: what can I do next? Resilience is active, not passive. It is the decision to continue, to rebuild, and to persevere when giving up would be easier. It's a quiet strength forged in the crucible of experience that becomes visible in the way a man carries himself, even after life has tried to break him. Psychologically, resilience rewires the mind. Every time you face adversity and overcome it, your brain learns to handle stress more effectively. Each setback becomes a lesson, each failure a blueprint for growth. Men who embrace this process develop confidence not from success alone, but from the knowledge that they can endure anything life throws at them. This internal fortitude is more valuable than any external validation or achievement because it cannot be taken from you. When others are panicking, losing focus, or quitting, the resilient man remains grounded, making him a force that others naturally respect and follow. Adaptability complements resilience. Life is fluid, constantly changing, and often unpredictable. The strategies that worked yesterday may fail tomorrow. The ability to bend without breaking, to pivot without losing sight of your goals, is essential. Adaptable men are not defined by rigidity or inflexibility. They are defined by their capacity to learn, adjust, and evolve. Where many see obstacles, they see opportunities. Where others see endings, they see beginnings. Adaptability transforms uncertainty from a threat into a tool, allowing a man to move through life with confidence and creativity. There is a philosophical truth here: life is not about control, but about response. You cannot dictate every event, outcome, or person, but you can control how you react. Resilience teaches endurance, and adaptability teaches flexibility. Together, they allow a man to navigate chaos without losing himself. The world will shift, relationships will fail, businesses will falter, and health will challenge you, but your ability to respond wisely and persistently determines your trajectory. Men who understand this do not fear change, they harness it. Resilience and adaptability also demand introspection. To grow stronger, a man must confront his weaknesses and limitations without denial. He must examine the patterns that caused failure and learn from them. Reflection is not a passive exercise, it is an active tool for improvement. Every moment of struggle carries insight if we choose to see it. The resilient and adaptable man does not hide from his shortcomings. He studies them, adjusts, and emerges better prepared. In this way, life's challenges become his greatest teachers, sculpting him into someone capable of more than he ever imagined. Emotionally, these skills create stability. Life is unpredictable, but a man who is resilient and adaptable maintains composure amid turbulence. He is not ruled by frustration, fear, or despair. Others may crumble when confronted with failure or change, but he responds with clarity and purpose. This presence inspires confidence in those around him. Leaders, partners, and friends are drawn to men who remain steady in chaos, who can make decisions calmly and act decisively when it matters most. Resilience and adaptability are not just personal tools, they are social magnets that elevate influence and respect. Yet, true resilience is not about stubbornness. It is not about surviving at any cost without reflection. Blind endurance leads to repetition of mistakes and stagnation. Resilience must be combined with learning. Adaptability must be combined with insight. The man who simply pushes forward without adjustment risks becoming rigid and unprepared for the future. But the man who adapts thoughtfully, who integrates lessons into action, converts every challenge into growth, he transforms obstacles into fuel, pain into progress, and uncertainty into mastery. Every great story of success, every life that inspires, is filled with moments of apparent failure. What separates those who triumph is not immunity to hardship, but the choice to persist. Each setback becomes a teacher, each challenge a platform for skill and character development. Resilient and adaptable men understand that life is rarely linear. They embrace detours, learn from resistance, and discover strength in moments where others see only weakness. The harder the trial, the more profound the transformation. So cultivate resilience and adaptability deliberately. Face difficulties with courage, and when circumstances shift unexpectedly, pivot with intention. Reflect on your experiences, internalize the lessons, and use them to inform your next steps. Life will never be easy, but it will be navigable if you equip yourself with the mindset to endure and the flexibility to evolve. Your ability to survive and thrive is not determined by external conditions, but by the inner skills you develop to meet them. Remember this, life's storms do not define you. Your response does. The man who endures, learns, and adapts does not simply survive challenges, he transforms them into power, insight, and opportunity. Resilience and adaptability are not optional, they are essential. Master them, and you become a man who moves through life with confidence, influence, and unshakable strength.